Hello and welcome to the Alexander Rossi Solo Career Series with F1 2016 here on BoxBoxBoxGaming. My name is Justin, and today we'll be taking part in the practice and qualifying sessions for the opening round of this 2016 season here in Australia. So, very excited. This is going to be the first video of the series. For those of you that missed the introductory video, which would have came out shortly before this video came out, I am going to be driving as Alexander Rossi. I am going to be driving in the Haas, and I'm also going to be talking over these parts where Crofty and Anthony Davidson are talking and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys can see plenty of that stuff on other channels, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip over it. Again, for those of you that may have missed the introductory video, I'm going to quickly go over the format of the series. We're going to be doing 25% distance races, which means we're going to have 30-minute practice sessions. I didn't find a way in the settings to have 25% distance races with full-length 90-minute practice sessions, or rather 90, 90, and 60 is what they normally run at. So it's going to be 25% distance races. It's going to be expert difficulty, and I am going to be breaking up each race weekend into 2 videos. So obviously this is the first video of the Australian weekend, and this is only practice and qualifying. So if you have no interest in practice and qualifying, please skip this video. Just watch the next one. You do not have to watch every video if you do not want to. That's the whole point of me doing 2 separate videos for these, is that you can choose, you know, how much you want to see. If you want to see the whole thing, practice, qualifying, the whole shebang, you're more than welcome to, but I fully expect that the race video will probably get twice as many views as the practice and qualifying sessions. This is edited, however, it's not significantly edited. I cut out pretty much, you know, the boring parts of practice and whatnot, where it gets, you know, where I'm not doing much or just driving back to the circuit, or if I just have nothing to talk about at that moment in time, then I'll go ahead and cut that out of the video. So this first one, though, will be a little bit on the longer side. I'm going to tell you right now, I plan on practice and qualifying videos being about 30 minutes in length in the future. However, this first one is going to be a bit on the longer side in comparison to future practice and qualifying videos for this career series. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in and play around with the settings. Now, the Haas doesn't have the greatest straight line speed or downforce or mechanical grip. It really does. It's not the best at anything, pretty much. Yeah, I was gonna play around with the setup of the car to see if I can do something with it to maybe help myself. Right now I'm trying to remind myself of exactly how the differential works, because I have to remind myself every time. I'm terrible with transmission adjustments, differential stuff. Right now I'm basically reading that paragraph underneath the differential in order to familiarize myself with the system, because it's been a while. So I've decided to reduce the I think it was the on throttle and increase the off throttle, if I'm not mistaken. I had to think about adjusting the camber levels, but opted against it, because really with this Haas, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make some clever strategy calls, which probably means trying to stop one less time than my rivals in order to try and finish as high as possible. So I opted not to mess too much with the suspension geometry. However, I did increase the suspension stiffness and the anti-roll bar at the front of the car. Melbourne Park in general, Albert Park, excuse me, in Melbourne, Albert Park has kind of quick corners. You're not really holding the steering wheel for a very long period of time. It's more like you turn in and then the corner is over pretty quickly. Now, there are exceptions to that rule, of course, but in general, it's you know, kind of quick changes of direction. Not long corners, you know, think like Luffield at Silverstone. That's the type of corner where you would really want a nice soft suspension and anti-roll bar at the front of the car in order to give yourself better grip mid-corner. That's part of the setup that I actually do understand. So first thing is first, I believe I went out and did some practice laps, However, I don't think I'm going to show that because it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It's been a while since I drove F1 2015, and I only drove like 20 hours or played 20 hours in F1 2015, if I remember correctly. It really was not very much. So really the last time that I seriously played a Codemasters F1 game was F1 2013. Not even messing with you. F1 2013. So this is free practice 1. This is my fastest lap of the session. You can see dropping down into 4th gear for turn 1, getting the DRS open. That was my fastest lap on a 132.447. Last lap was my fastest lap. I believe, yeah, down into 3rd gear for that corner. However, I think 2nd may have actually been the better choice. You can get on the throttle a little bit earlier in 3rd gear, but you're just losing out on so much extra acceleration. And I've completely screwed up that high-speed right-hander, and that's put me into the wall. And I'm going to go ahead and use a flashback. Flashbacks are turned on. I'm not planning to use them for the races or anything like that. They're mainly there because of stupid AI stuff. I know this is my first video, but certainly I've seen other people's videos of F1 2016 going up, and it seems like the AI can be pretty stupid sometimes. Let's be frank. And you know, the AI has never been a strong suit of the Codemasters F1 games, so I've gone ahead and left that on for mainly for the AI. Now, yes, I did use it there, but this is just a practice session, and I really just want to see what kind of pace I have. At this stage, the AI is set to Legend difficulty, or Legendary. I always forget which one it is, but it's a Legend difficulty as of this point. For those of you that watched my introduction video, you will know that the AI is set on Expert. However, I did try to do Legend first. I wanted to be able to do Legend. I really did, but I just do not have the pace, as you're about to find out. I am a half a second up on my previous lap, though, so it looks like I might be able to get into the 131s on these soft compound tires. It is the Super Softs, Softs, and Medium compound tires that are brought to Australia. And making our way down towards the line, just under 0.6 of a second. So yeah, 131.881, and that is going to be my fastest lap of the session, which you can see is about 0.8 slower than Rio Harrienzo on mediums. On mediums. Rio Harrienzo on medium compound tires is 0.8 quicker than I am on soft compound tires, and he did half as many laps as I did as well. I am 2.2 seconds slower than Romain Grosjean. 2.2 seconds. That is just... That's not good. That's not good at all. So it was around this time that I ended up changing it back down to Expert difficulty. I don't know if it was exactly at this point, but again, you know, this was just one of the contributing factors that made me realize that I could not do Legend difficulty. I don't know if it's a combination of the AI being faster or me being slower, or if it's just one or the other. Well, no, it's guaranteed that I'm slow. That's definitely for sure. But the AI as well may be improved over previous years of F1. I don't know why I said Xbox there, but so here we're going to see the brief introduction to resource points. This is another reason why this video is going to be a bit on the longer side in comparison to other videos, because I'm going to be talking about things like resource points and all that kind of stuff, whereas in future practice and qualifying videos for this series, obviously I won't have to cover that nearly as extensively as I will be doing here. So you can see after FP1, I gained, well, I had 475, so I got a little bit under 100. Yeah, I got 91 bonus points from doing that session. I already had 475, so I'm up to 566 now. And then this is where we get introduced to the Chief of Vehicle Development. His name is Chris. What's up, Chris? Anyway, so you're going to see this in a moment, but the main thing that I noticed in FP1 was a severe lack of grip, and I did continue making minor modifications to that setup that I showed earlier. I may even be showing a final, a later version, of later build of that same setup that I end up using heading into qualifying. Parc Ferme is on, all assists are off, safety car is on, it's dynamic weather, you know, everything you would expect really from me. I'm going to be doing the whole thing in cockpit view. Apologies to those that watched the introduction video to this series, because I am repeating quite a bit of that stuff, but I just want to make sure I'm covering all my bases, just in case anybody's watching this video that didn't bother to go and check out that introduction video. So here we are taking a look at the research and development, the upgrades that are available for my Haas F1 car, and yeah, I end up going for downforce. Fuel efficiency, I assume, is so that you can use rich mix more often during a race. Not a problem for me. I can drop it down into lean in the tight corners and then put it back up on a rich. I'm good with fuel management. It's one of the few things that I am actually pretty good at when it comes to F1 games. I'm always good with fuel management. So I'm going to go ahead and go for downforce here, because really it just felt like the Haas was all over the place. I mean, the back end was sliding, the front end was understeering. I mean, you know, understeer, oversteer, take your pick. I was getting all of it. Yes, some of that is down to skill, or rather lack thereof. But I decided, you know, downforce is really what I want. And also what I'm hoping, I haven't confirmed this, but what I'm hoping for when it comes to upgrading downforce is that I can get more downforce from a lower downforce setup. So you can see there, I'm on 5.4 wings at this point, and I'm actually going to up that rear wing to 5 to match the front wing, because, yeah, I was really losing the back end quite a bit, even at speed. Turn 2, even. I was sliding my way through turn 2 at Albert Park, which is just a flat-out corner. You know, that's when you're coming out of turn 1. It's that slight left. I mean, it's in previous versions of F1, it was really a non-corner. Turn 2 wasn't even really a corner. It was just flat out the entire time. In this Haas, with no assists, I mean, I was actually getting oversteer in, like, 5th gear at the exit of turn 2, and that's right where the DRS activation line is. And, you know, you try activating the DRS when your car already has some oversteer, and, you know, you just get sent off into a barrier, which happened. That did happen to me. So for this is FP2 now, as you can see at the top left. We're into free practice 2, and I've got the track acclimatization, tire management, qualifying pace, and then there's some other stuff on the side there. So I've decided that I'm going to go for the tire management test first, which is basically, to my knowledge, heading into this, I was like, okay, you know, you have to set a specific lap time, and you have to do it by wearing down the tires as little as possible. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, I could be pretty gentle on the tires, so let's go ahead and try this tire management test. I did also opt to do the outlap myself, rather than doing the hot lap, where it just teleports you to the end of the lap, basically. And I think that kind of is from Pro Season last year. I got used to doing outlaps and inlaps and all that kind of stuff without being able to teleport back to the garage, so I've kind of continued that tradition on. You can see at the bottom right-hand corner is that new kind of heads-up display that they've got for 2016. However, mine appears to be quite different from other people's that I'm seeing, and I believe it is because I'm in cockpit view. I don't think you get all of the same heads-up display information when you're in cockpit view versus when you're in T-Cam or some other form of camera angle. Most people, most YouTubers, use T-Cam. Almost everybody does. Onage does not use T-Cam. He uses cockpit cam, but Alex Gillen, XMattyG, Limitless, FizzyFan, Noble, you know, all these big F1 YouTubers, Ben, TMM Marduk, all of these guys use T-Cam for the most part, and Onage and I are really the only ones I can think of that use cockpit cam. Marco FD might be using cockpit cam as well, I'm not sure, but he's more of a league racer rather than a YouTuber. But anyway, mine appears to have less information. You can see at the bottom right, it's got the fuel mix, it's got the front brake bias, and it's got the differential. All of that very easily adjustable. I do kind of wish that there was a way to adjust the fuel mix without having to bring up that HUD, though, at the bottom right, because I have to push the L1 button on my steering wheel in order to cycle through those screens. So if I'm not on the right screen and I want to change my fuel mixture, I have to press L1 a few times until I get to this screen, and then I have to press left or right on the fuel mixture. So anyway, here we go. Tire management program has started. You can see I'm in the purple after turn 1. However, I'm also 3/10 down on the target lap time. It's been one corner, and I'm 3/10 down. Here we are breaking down into turn 3. I completely messed up that corner. Let's not mince words here. Still in the purple, but I'm now 1 second off my target lap time of a 1:31.0. 1.2 seconds, and going. So now I'm pushing a little bit harder. You can see it's kind of shifting in between the purple and the green. 1.7 seconds now, I'm off of the target lap time, so I'm on for a 32.7. I'm in rich mix as well, as you can see at the bottom right, so it's not like I'm still in lean mix trying to reduce my tire, my wheel spin or anything like that. Like, no, I am properly pushing at this point, still kind of trying to manage the tire life, but I'm definitely pushing pretty hard at this point. You can see putting a big load through the tires there, losing lots of tire life, and still look at the target lap time. 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. It's just going from bad to worst. At this stage, I'm going to be more than 3 seconds down the target lap time, and you can see I'm barely in the green there. So I would have to find nearly 3.5 seconds just to match that target lap time, and I would have to do it while also having the same amount of tire wear. So I need to go 3.5 seconds faster without using the tires any more than I just did back there. Going down to third gear for that first corner, not really sure why. And again, you can see into the DRS zone. DRS wing is open, and already I'm over 4/10 down just after one corner. I mean, that was a big shock. I was like, holy crap, I am terrible at this game. I am just awful. Took lots of tire life out through that high-speed right-hander there, but still, it's made no difference whatsoever on the target lap time, as you can see up there. It's 1.382 at the end of Sector 1 and growing, now approaching the 1.5 second mark. And, yeah, just depressing stuff. And this is the first lap. After each lap, the target lap time does go up. So it's now 131.182 is the target lap time for the second one. Again, I am in the green, so I am actually managing to not spin up the tires too much. I'm braking. Well, now I'm down into the red after that high-speed chicane. So, yeah, things really are not going well. My target lap time delta is a little bit better than it was at this stage. But again, I mean, I'm on for a 32.8 if I'm lucky. And my tires are in the red at the top. I completely screwed up the penultimate corner there. Took way too little speed and just running all over the grass there. DRS across the line, 1.9 seconds off the delta. It was a 133.0. And now I got Ricardo in my way. That's certainly not going to help things. Yep, and I've gotten a massive amount of oversteer. Now this continues on. Actually, you can continue watching me fail at this tire management test, but I am actually going to go ahead and save you guys from or maybe save myself, because frankly, that's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. I've actually done that a little bit better that time. I'm actually in the green now, and braking for turn 3, and nope, I've lost 4/10. I've lost 4/10. Yep. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this part out because, again, it doesn't get any better. I end up failing at all 4 of these laps, despite the fact the target lap time goes up each time. However, the target lap time goes up as you're losing tire life. So I actually don't think it's any easier to do it. I thought it was getting easier because I saw the target lap time going up, but I think that's to compensate for the loss of grip in the tires as you're driving around doing this test. So yeah, things really did not go any better. This is just to show you just how slow I am for comparison to the Legend AI. So on Legend difficulty, it wants me to do a 131.3 in a Haas, mind you, without any significant tire wear. Yep, I don't think I can do that. So let's go ahead, let's skip ahead. All right, so here we are, still in FP2, so nothing has changed as far as that's concerned. You can see I have failed miserably on the tire management. Literally 0 points on that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to track acclimatization instead. And let's see if this goes a little bit better. Now, on this one, you do need to hit a delta as well. However, rather than having to worry about whether or not your tires are in good nick, all you have to do is actually just hit these little gates. I'm trying to think of another racing game that had those kind of gates. Like on the Crew, if you're familiar with the Crew, there's those like challenges where you have to drive in between gates, and you get graded based on how in between the gates you are. So right there, that was a green. Looks pretty purple to me. Second one was purple there. Third one was purple as well. There we go. Purple on the DRS as well, so good activation on the DRS. Target score is a 345. Ooh, that's a green. Yeah, bit deep through there. That's another green through there. I was a little bit to the left-hand side. We've got a Force India behind us that is harassing the hell out of us. And some more greens. There was a purple back there. Another purple through there. And we're into Sector 2 now. That's a green. There's a purple. That was a good one. That's a green, I would imagine. What? That was a purple. Interesting. 2 purples in a row there. Another purple. There we go. Now we're getting a good amount of purples in a row here. So my score is at 180. You get bonuses for hitting consecutive purples, which is why at the top right you'll see it says like 210 plus 30 or 230 plus 30. That extra 30 is the bonus for hitting consecutive purples in a row. Now this Force India, again, all over the back of me. Ooh, just barely getting the car turned in for that one. Scary running out wide there over the curb as you're trying to get the throttle down coming out of that high-speed chicane. And also now I've got this Force India pressuring me like hell, and I really don't need to be getting him in the way, or I really do not need him getting in the way because it's difficult enough trying to hit these. I mean, they're all on the racing line, all of these gates. So if you have a car in front of you, that makes things significantly more difficult. It does look like, however, the Force India did dive into the pits, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. And we are going to cross the line with 430 points on that first lap, which is good. However, on this second lap now, the target score is actually now 470. So I'm going to need to do 40 points better than I did previously. We're off to a pretty good start there. I got a purple DRS. I think that turn 2 was purple. That was green somehow. Looked like I was dead center in that one. Nice purple there, hitting the apex very nicely for turn 3. Into turn 4, hitting the apex there very nicely as well, but the gate before the apex I only got a green on. So unfortunately I'm just not stringing together consecutive purples here like I was doing on the previous one. So I'm only at 130 points so far. Bonus of 20 at the top as we could see. There we go, another couple of purples. That's going to help significantly. Can I get another purple there? Yes, that's going to give us a nice bonus. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I actually had more points at this stage of the lap last time, and now the target is even higher. Actually, no, I think that's almost exactly the same score as I had last lap. 260 heading into this high-speed chicane, purple, and then completely missed the gate, which means I'm going to lose out on a significant amount of points. A couple of purples there, though, is going to help things. 275 points with just Sector 3 to go here. Not very many corners remaining. It was a green followed by a couple of purples. Purple heading into this high-speed right-hander, another purple, and then another purple at the exit, so that's going to give us a plus 30 bonus. Oh, can we get the car turned in? Yes, it looked like we were nearly going to go deep there. A couple of greens followed by a purple. Through the final corner, got to get on the DRS nice and early, and it looks like this is only going to be 395 points, unfortunately. So we are going to miss out on our target. And this is now the final lap of the program, as Jeff just said. Is his name still Jeff? Is Jeff still the engineer? I think it is. Yes, it is, because on the radio you can hear there's the option for shut up Jeff. Oh, and I've braked way too early for turn 3. I think I got distracted by that Red Bull behind me, and that actually locked the gate heading into turn 3, at the gate at the apex of turn 3, and the gate at the exit of turn 3. So I missed out on three gates there as a result of braking slightly too early. Okay, I say slightly. As a result of braking way too early for that corner. So again, we were at about 260 points for the other 2 laps coming out of this corner and onto this part. Ooh, that was a good purple there. Another good purple there, and that's 255 points. So we're actually 5 points down on the previous one. This Red Bull is just all over the back of me. He's really not helping things here. Managed to make my way through those and a couple more purples there. That's going to put us up to 305. The target score is still the same for this one, 470 points. I'm going to go ahead and just let that Red Bull go. And then, of course, he's going to cut me off at the apex of the corner. Thanks, Max Verstappen. Dick. Anyway, a green and then a purple and then another purple there. So that's going to give us a couple more bonus points. And we're going to get a purple through that penultimate corner, actually. Some more purples. We're racking up the purples here right at the end, though. But unfortunately, we get a green there. And then we slam into the wall and lose our wheel. Yeah, that did look bad, didn't it, Jeff? I do wish you could just go straight into the replay or into the flashback after you mess up. So again, that's another reason why I have the flashbacks on, is just because of stupid stuff like that. I really don't want to have to do these practice sessions all over. Again, my main concern for this career mode is finishing it. because I only got 6 episodes into the previous series on Pro Season F1 2015. So my main goal here is to just finish the season. That's all I want. I just want to finish a season on F1 2016. And if that means doing expert difficulty and 25% race distance, so be it. That's what I'm doing. So here we have the final times for the session, and I am dead freaking last place. Now, the good news, though, I'm only 9/10 off of Rio Harriento, and on the same tire compound this time. So there is a silver lining here, okay? I'm only 1/10 slower than him, but this time on the same tires. He's not on a slower tire. So I am getting quicker, marginally quicker, and I do believe after FP2, this is the point where I decided I am going to go ahead and change it to Expert. I'm not going to go back and do the track acclimatization. God, that is such a mouthful saying that word. I'm not going to go back and do that, but now that it's on Expert difficulty, I am going to go back and try and do the tire management program, because I really would like to do that. But actually, no, it looks like I'm going to go out and I'm going to do the qualifying pace first. Now, with this one, you just have to set a delta. You don't have to go through any gates. You don't have to save your tires or anything like that. It's just push like hell for 3 laps, and it's just a target delta. So you can see up at the top right, target lap time is 13th position, or what they estimate to be 13th position in the qualifying session, which I'd assume that's in Q2. They assume what the 13th time will be. So here we go, starting our first lap of 3, getting on the DRS nice and early, by my standards anyway. We're already up on the delta, which tells me that I have better straight line speed versus a car that they would expect to be in 13th place. Now, you can see I did lose a couple of tenths through the first couple of corners. However, I'm making back a lot of that time, a whole tenth. Half that time I made up in a straight line just by driving straight. So I definitely seem to have lower downforce, maybe, or at least I'm slower in the corners. Who knows if that's just, you know, my talent running out, or if that's actually got something to do with the downforce. But I'm losing lots of time in the corners. But I am gaining a pretty significant amount of time on the straights. So you can see here, the delta is coming down as I'm driving in a straight line, even with the, obviously, no DRS activation down this straight. And I have braked way too early for that corner. I've lost about half a second. And then getting lots of wheel spin at the exit as well, which is going to kill all of our momentum coming onto this straight, which means we're actually losing time right up until about this point, and then we're braking for the corner. Dropped it down to 4th gear. That was a mistake. I should have gone down to 5th gear. Did not carry nearly enough speed for the left-hander. I was able to get a good run through the right-hander, but killed so much of my momentum by dropping down into 4th gear that it really didn't make much of a difference. Down into 3rd gear for this 90-degree right-hander as we're approaching the end of the lap now. 4th gear for this high-speed right-hander. 180 kilometers per hour. Wow, I just realized I'm in kilometers per hour. I might want to change that. I'm fine with either, honestly. You know, I can deal with kilometers, kph or mph. I do usually go for mph though, since I am American. So yeah, we're 3 seconds off the target time. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is still on legend mode. So yeah, as of this stage, I still have not dropped it down to expert mode. However, that is going to be coming soon. So, given the fact that this is still on Legend mode, you can go ahead and assume that I screw up the 2nd and 3rd lap, too. I think I was 3 seconds off my target lap time. This is still on Legend mode. So, once again, I'm going to go ahead and skip through the rest of this. You guys really don't need to watch me fail for 2 more laps or another lap and a half. So, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright guys, here we are in Free Practice 3, and now for sure I can tell you that it is on Expert mode. I thought it might have been on Expert mode after I failed the tire management test, but no, I did try and do the qualifying pace, found that, you know, I had the exact same problem. I could only set a 131.6. That is very slow. Very, very slow. So, you know, basically, I had to wake up and realize that I just was not going to cut it on Legend difficulty. It's time to knock it down to Expert. Otherwise, I'm going to have to spend several days practicing just to get up to Legend level, which would mean I have to delay my videos. And again, as I mentioned in the introductory video, if you're watching this series because of my driving skills, that's the wrong choice. That's a bad choice. So after FP3, I did do a little bit better, I thought. That's strange. I thought I showed some more of more of the tests where I actually do them successfully. But it appears I've actually skipped out on that. There you go. There you go. So you can see now on expert difficulty, which doesn't change my lap time. So I've knocked the difficulty down, and also I did manage to find about a second. So I actually managed to do a 1:30.655, which is less than a tenth slower than Nico Hülkenberg on the same tires as well. Now, we don't know the fuel levels, of course. And, I mean, Felipe Nasr wasn't that far behind me on the harder compound tires, so... Yeah, I did manage to find some time. I think I tweaked my setup a few more times. Here we can see Kevin Magnussen actually has a 5-place grid penalty after running into my teammate, Romain Grosjean, actually. So I'm sure Fizzy's going to be disappointed about that. But yeah, Kevin Magnussen is going to have a 5-place grid penalty for the Australian Grand Prix before we even get into qualifying. So that's unfortunate for him, but good for us because Kevin Magnussen is probably around the same speed as us. Where is he? Yeah, he was in 18th on the medium tires, 1.4 seconds slower than us on the super soft. So yeah, Magnussen is a threat for sure. He is one of my rivals. So I am not disappointed whatsoever to find out that he has a 5-place grid penalty. So here we are at the end of practice now. Qualifying pace practice program. I got a pass. There we go. You can see on the tire management program on the expert level, I did end up getting 50 points from that. So on expert difficulty, I was able to do those tests a little bit better. I had not really considered the fact that the tests would be harder on legend difficulty. Obviously, it makes sense if you even consider it for 2 seconds, but I hadn't even thought about it really. When I was choosing my difficulty, I was mainly trying to figure out the correct difficulty so that I would be similar pace to my teammate. That's my judge here. Is I want to be as fast as that man sitting on the couch right there, Mr. Romain Grosjean.
Just letting you know that
we've got a voicemail here. It's just letting us know that okay, so they want me to qualify 15th or higher and beat Romain Grosjean. Now, at the end of FP3, I was 16th fastest. However, there were a variety of different compounds that were being used to set those times. So we'll have to see whether or not I am actually capable of doing that. But I'm definitely much closer to my teammate speed. I mean, remember, I was doing 132s, 131s. Now I'm into the 130s, possibly sniffing even into the 129s. So things are looking up now that it's on expert level, for sure. No doubt about it. As with everybody else's career mode, my first rival is going to be my teammate. Romain Grosjean will be my first teammate. Or my first rival, excuse me. So he is the man that I need to beat. And we're going to be heading into qualifying now for our first qualifying session of F1 2016. I'm so excited! Yay! It's already fun, though, honestly. I didn't do a first impressions video. I thought about doing it, but I just really didn't have time. I really just wanted to get going on this career mode, especially because I'm having a bit of a late start to my career mode compared to other YouTubers. So I'm skipping the first impressions video, but honestly, first impression video is that it's great. That's my first impression. It's a great game, at least compared to other Codemasters F1 games. You know, I was talking on Twitter to Onage, and he was saying to someone, you know, if you're buying this game for the realism factor, then you're not very bright. Sorry to break it to you, but this is not a you know, proper sim racing game. I mean, there are people out there that'll tell you, you know, Project Cars and Assetto Corsa are garbage compared to R Factor 2 and iRacing. Now, if you compare F1 2016 to those games, then I mean it's barely. I mean, honestly, you could barely call this a sim racing game. I would probably classify it in the sim racing genre, but yeah, it's more racing than sim. I'll put it that way. So just having a quick look over my setup one more time before heading out into qualifying because Parc Ferme is on, so I need to make sure that I have everything the way that I want it. I'm going to go ahead and save these settings. I've got 8 kilos of fuel in the car. That should be enough for me to do an outlap and 2 timed laps, which is what I'm looking to do. There's the little reminder just telling me that Parc Ferme is in place. So, and we're going to go out and we're going to set our first lap in qualifying as Alexander Rossi in the Haas in Australia. It's go time. So here we are coming out of the pits. We got a couple cars ahead of us, and I mean the real worry though in qualifying is that cars will be coming out of the pits as I'm crossing the start. So there's a pretty hefty gap to the car ahead, and honestly, even if I was pushing, I doubt I would be able to catch up to them because I'm just so darn slow. But I have heard from other people. I was reassured by some people on Twitter that were telling me, look, man, same thing's happening over here. I thought I could do legend difficulty, and I just can't. Or people were doing legend difficulty and just not performing nearly as well as they expected to. However, I was also hearing from people that they were doing legend difficulty, specifically Sam Carpenter. Some of you guys might be familiar with Sam Carpenter. He was telling me that he was doing legend difficulty. He was struggling in qualifying, but doing quite well in the race, if I remember correctly. At least I think it was Sam that told me that. It might have been someone else. But so I might end up, expert might end up being the wrong difficulty. We'll have to find out at the end of the first race whether or not I have indeed made the correct choice. But I can tell you, based on single lap pace, expert is the right place for me. I'm very similar to my teammate as far as pace in this Haas. I'm not that far off of Romain Grosjean, or he's not that far off of me. So expert seems like the right call so far, but we'll see. Obviously, you can change the difficulty setting mid-season. So if I find that expert is, in fact, too easy for the race, then I'll go ahead and I'll up it to legend, and I'll just start qualifying really low, probably. Or if I find that as I improve over the season, that expert is becoming too easy, then of course I'm going to up it to legend difficulty as well. Also, my plan is for next season to up it to 50% race distances to make it a little bit more in line with what is common for a career series. Again, just doing 25% for this first season, but with an eye to increase to 50% for season 2. But again, I just want to get through this first season. So here we are on our first flying lap. Of course, we're in Rich Mix, and we're unfortunately riding behind Valtteri Bottas. Now, I'm not going to be picking up too much of a dirty air effect through these types of corners. You can see the back end trying to step out there, getting a little bit of a wiggle there, but keeping everything pointing in the right direction as Sergio Perez goes fastest with a 130.0, first time on the board for him. So I'm running behind Bottas, not getting too much of a dirty air effect. However, I'm getting a pretty nice slipstream here. You can see I'm keeping up with him pretty good. He's on an out lap right now, so he's probably in lean mix or something like that. But I am actually keeping up with him pretty good. A bit of a corner cut through that high-speed right-hander, but I don't think that was anything too serious, as Kimi Räikkönen now goes fastest with a 129.3. Certainly, I will not be setting any times similar to Kimi's 129.3 there. It's Hamilton. My God, just what a dick. 28.0. Very close to Bottas here now towards the end of the lap. Again, not going to pick up much of dirty air effect through that penultimate corner, but through this final corner, the dirty air is going to be pretty significant. However, I'm going to be gaining time in the slipstream here with the DRS open. Rich Mix across the line is a 130.177, which is by far the best time I've ever had. I'm pretty sure. I don't think any of my times have even been close to a 130.1. I'm almost into the 129s. If I can find 0.2 of a second, then I could actually improve on that pretty significantly. Now, because of the Williams in front of me, and because I really do want to try and improve on that time, I've gone ahead and I've backed off, and I'm in lean mix right now. And I'm going to do a bit of a cool down lap, which is why I'm having a look at my temperatures. You can see at the bottom right-hand side. Brakes are looking good, tire temperatures are all looking good, and my engine temperature is slowly coming down. I think it was at around 100 degrees Celsius at the end of my hot lap. You can see it's all the way down to 86 degrees Celsius now. I'm really short shifting my way through the gears, already up into 5th gear coming out of that corner. You can see it on the steering wheel. I'm not even getting into the red part. Already up into 8th gear now, down to 83 degrees Celsius. Of course, these are air-cooled engines. Screw you, Bollard! I don't like you. These are air-cooled engines. All F1 engines have been, to my knowledge. I don't think there's ever been a water-cooled F1 engine. So the lower your revs and the faster your speed, the more your engine will cool. So that's just a little tip for maybe people that didn't know that. I mean, pretty common sense, but, there might be some people. Ooh, I've got a Sauber right behind me. I've gone up into Rich Mix, and I'm going to start a new lap, but I really need this Sauber not to overtake me. It does look like I've gotten a very nice exit out of that final corner. I'm actually pulling away from that Sauber. That obviously was not a representative lap time. And then down into 4th gear, taking lots of inside curb at turn 1, up into 5th gear, 6th gear as we cross the DRS activation line. DRS wing is wide open. 7th gear, 8th gear briefly before dropping it down into 2nd gear for turn 3. Up into 3rd pretty quickly. Probably best to short shift for that corner. And then a big lift of the throttle through turn number 4. High speed, turn 5. Had to lift through there, though, even on the super softs. And even with my wing settings, I think at this point I'm running like 6.6 wings or 7.7 wings, something along those lines. However, I was 7/10 up on my previous best at the end of Sector 1, so we are on for a 129 here. So this is a better lap. I haven't really gained too much more time. There we go. Much better exit out of there, getting a few more tenths. Bit of a wiggle, though, is going to kill a little bit of my momentum. It's dropping down, yeah, back down towards 1.7. Down into 5th gear, taking lots of inside curve there. Lots of inside curve there as well. Careful not to corner cut, though. However, it was not as good as my previous best, so I'm actually losing time as we make our way down towards this right-hander. Into 3rd gear for that corner. Lots of steering lock on that one. And a 1.4 or 0.14 seconds down on my previous best. Nicely through there. That's going to put me back on par, back into the green here, attacking this penultimate corner. We're a 1/4 of a second up on our previous best. Not the best exit out of the corner, though. Nicely through the final corner. We're picking up speed as we go across the line, and it looks like it's going to be into the 129s. No! Just barely missing out on that. It's a 130.0, though, which is my PB of the weekend so far. So that's a very good lap time for me. For me, specifically. But I am going to go ahead and teleport back to the garage, and I'm going to see what that has done for me. Because, again, I'm very, very happy with that lap, a 130.0. And certainly there is improvements to be made. I mean, you know, anytime I drive, there's always improvements to be made. But look at that. I'm 5.5 tenths up on Romain Grosjean, and he's on the same compound tires. Now, he has only done 1 flying lap, whereas I've done 2 flying laps. So not quite fair in that regard. I had an extra lap to try and knock out that result. But it's looking pretty good. Jensen Button only managing a 30.0 on the super softs. You can see the Saubers and the Manners and stuff. They're all in the 131s. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I'm like, hey, I might actually make it into Q2. Again, this is on expert difficulty, so I guess I shouldn't be too proud of myself. But I'm going to go ahead and fast forward time. You can see I have dropped down to 12th, but I just need to be in the top 16 in order to make it into the next session. My teammate Romain Grosjean right on the pound seat there, though. If anybody improves, he could easily get knocked out here. We are continuing to drop down. However, Romain Grosjean holding on to that 16th place just barely. Look at that. That is very, very close. Hold on. I should scroll down in a second here so you can see the exact times. Romain Grosjean was 12 thousandths of a second faster than Felipe Nasser. 12 thousandths of a second was the difference between Romain Grosjean making it into Q2 or not. But we are pretty comfortably into Q2 by half a second. So expert definitely seems like the right place. Again, my qualifying target was P15. This is only Q1, but I did manage to go 14th fastest in Q1, so I see no reason why I can't at least go 15th fastest in Q2. Because, of course, the car behind me was Bottas on softs, so he will almost certainly go faster. So here we are in Q2 now. I am not expecting to make it into Q3. Let's just be brutally honest here. I just do not have the speed to make it into Q3, and neither does the Haas, if I'm being totally fair to myself. The Haas really is not a Q3 car at this stage. So I'm going to go in. I'm just going to make sure that I have the correct amount of fuel. Yes, I do. 8 kilograms of fuel on board. Now, one thing that I'm going to do here, and again, the 8 kilograms kind of proves this, is I'm going to go out and I'm going to do 2 timed laps. That was the wrong choice. That was not the right choice. I should not have done that. I quickly remembered after qualifying ended that I need to start the race on these tires. Yeah, so I really should not have done the extra flying lap on this set of super softs because I have a feeling it's really going to hurt me. Now, also, I was considering going out here on a set of the soft tires and just assuming that I'll get P16 because I was thinking, you know, what would you prefer? Would you rather be in 16th place on soft tires or would you rather be in 15th or 14th place on super soft tires? And I'm thinking, well, I think I'd rather be in 16th place on the soft tires, to be totally honest. Oh, gosh, very wide through there, and that is definitely going to be some front wing damage. I'm almost certain about that, so I'm going to go ahead and do a restart of the entire session, actually, apparently, for that one, because I guess I just couldn't be bothered. The flashback system's a little bit strange, if I'm being totally honest, so, but yeah, that was my mistake. Again, I'm going to be doing stuff like that, you know, people got on me about restarting sessions in Pro Season and stuff, and it's like, sorry, man, that's just how it's going to go down. If you don't like the fact that people reset, I mean, other YouTubers do it plenty, trust me. They just edit it out, whereas I'm actually showing it to you. So you can see exactly how things went down. And that is exactly how things went down in Q2, is I completely messed up my first lap. Now, I have done a flying lap, though, so here we are starting... Yes, this is a flying lap now. This is a hot lap, because I went ahead and teleported basically to the end. I didn't do the full out lap. There'll probably be times where I do both. Anyway, breaking down into turn 3. Oh, missing my apex ever so slightly. Up into third gear now, and then lifting off the throttle, taking a lot more inside curb at turn 4 there than I had done on previous laps, getting a bit of the curbing there at turn 5 as well. We're also catching up to Romain Grosjean very quickly here. Our teammate is running in front of us. I assume he's on some sort of outlap or something. Now, he is actually going to be giving us a slipstream on the rundown into this corner. And, ooh, nearly running into the back of him. That's going to put us very wide onto the curbing and onto the AstroTurf as well, making it very, very difficult to get onto the power at the exit of the corner. Again, picking up a slipstream here, so that is going to help me a little bit, but I lost significant amounts of time, missing my apex there, having to go down into fourth gear, and then corner cut, the car unsettling itself. This lap is just an absolute mess right now. I've got corner cuts, I've got oversteer moments, I've got my teammate in the way. Get out of the way! Romain Grosjean! Grosjean! What a dick. What an absolute dick. What a dick. Look at this. Look at this guy. Just completely screw... Yeah, I'm going to blame the whole thing on him. I'm blaming the whole thing on him. I'm not taking any blame for that. Every mistake I made in that lap is Romain Grosjean's fault. But, despite the mistakes, look at that. It's a 130.0. So, I mean, without those mistakes, I would easily be into the 129s, possibly as low as 129.5, I want to say. So we're going to go ahead and do another cooldown lap, since Frenchie decided to get in front of us and block us for pretty much the entire lap, or at least all of Sector 2 and 3. So I'm trying not to take any life out of my tires here. I'm short shifting to cool the engine. But again, you know, it's air cooled. So when you're trying to cool down your engine, you still want to go quickly, just at low revs, which is why I'm short shifting like crazy. You can see 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, just rapid fire getting into these gears. In 7th, I probably should have even short shifted that even better. Ricardo does a 128.33 because he's a dick. And into Sector 2 now, halfway through this cooldown lap. I'm not looking at the temperatures, but I do know for a fact that I can easily lose 20 degrees Celsius on my engine temperature just by doing this cooldown lap, so, which is great. That's fantastic, by the way. The fact that Formula 1 from Codemasters has cooldown laps, that's great. Great stuff. Really, really, really happy about this game. I'm hoping to become better at it. I mean, that's the main thing that I'm disappointed in right now, is just my own performance in the game. It's more challenging than previous games. Well, I don't know if it's more challenging than 2015, but that's because 2015 was riddled with bugs. 2016 has bugs too. I mean, you find me a game that doesn't have bugs at launch, and I will be very impressed. I mean, every game has bugs at launch now. There's no excuse. And people are like, oh, I don't like buggy games that are buggy at launch. And it's like, oh, well, then you must not like video games. Oh, right. No, I actually did remember that I don't want to set another time on this set of another lap on this set of tires, because it would actually take life out of those tires, and I need to start on them. So I'm going to have a look here and see if there's any other tires that I can use. And actually, the other set of Super Softs that I have are even more worn than the set of Super Softs I just got done using. So unfortunately, I do not have a brand new set of Super Soft tires to use for Q2 here. I did have another set of softs, of unused soft tires that I could have used, but I really didn't think that I was going to be able to do a 129 something on a set of soft tires. However, I am currently faster than Romain Grosjean. So I have beaten my teammate so far, and he is out on circuit right now. No, he's done. He's done. So I have out-qualified Romain Grosjean. Where do we qualify in the end? Come on. Scroll down. Max Verstappen on pole position, followed by Daniel Ricciardo. It's going to be a Red Bull 1-2 for the race. Mercedes then coming in 3rd and 4th with Lewis Hamilton on softs for some reason. No idea. Then followed by the 2 Ferraris, then the Williams of Valtteri Bottas. Fernando Alonso qualifying in 8th position. Fantastic job by him. Daniil Kvyat in 9th position for Toro Rosso, followed by Felipe Massa in 10th position for Williams. Quite a ways off of his teammate, actually. 6/10 slower than Bottas in the end. But there we are. Sergio Perez and Nico Hulkenberg just ahead of us for Force India on row 6. And there I am in P13 ahead of my teammate. So I have out-qualified Romain Grosjean by the narrowest of margins, by less than a 1/10 of a second. But there we are on the 7th row of the grid, ahead of Jenson Button, ahead of Carlos Sainz, ahead of the Manners and the Saubers and all of that stuff, the Renaults. So it's not bad. That actually went pretty well. Again, expert difficulty, so nothing, to be too excited about, but it's right where I wanted to be. I wanted to have a similar lap time as my teammate, and that's an incredibly similar lap time as my teammate. Less than a 1/10 off. So we're going to grab 45 more resource points from that qualifying session. Yeah, it's up at the top. It says result versus car performance. It says expected position 16th. I beat that, but I got 0 points. Not sure what that's about. I don't know if that's a bug or what, but we are going to beat our teammate Romain Grosjean. Here's another weird possible bug. Take a look at the fastest sectors. In Sector 1, Romain Grosjean 3/10 quicker than me. Sector 2, 1/2 a 10th quicker than me. And then in Sector 3, I was 1/2 a 10th quicker than him. Or about a 10th quicker than him. But somehow, my time is less than his. Now, I didn't do the math, but just by looking at that, looking at the numbers, it makes no sense. I'm pretty sure he was faster than me. So I don't know if that was a bug. I don't know what was up with that. I don't want to get into it too much. I beat him. I'm gonna take it. Okay, I'm not gonna argue about it. So here's our driver position. We're gonna move up a point because we finished higher than 15th, and we're gonna move up another point into 7 because we beat Romain Grosjean as well. So that is gonna do it for this first episode of the F1 2016 Solo Career Series here on BoxBoxBox Gaming. I've been Justin. I hope you enjoyed. Coming out very shortly after this video, will be the race video, and I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I certainly am. Oh, right, sorry, my race goals were right there. I think they said they wanted me to finish in 15th position in the race and also beat Romain Grosjean. So those are going to be my targets for the next video as we do our first race in this 2016 season. Fantastic stuff. Very excited. I hope you guys are too. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.